So, former Brown cornerback slash Steelers cornerback, Browns and Steelers actually, Joe Haden commented on the Shemar Stewart situation, especially of him when he talked very negative about the team. Let's go ahead and listen up on this.
In my case, I'm 100% right. I'm not asking for nothing y'all never done before. But in y'all case, y'all just want to win an argument instead of winning more games, in my opinion.
It's just not good. What happens here? What happens?
I don't. That's not good. I don't know. That's not good at all. He needs to get his agent on the phone. He shouldn't be making these comments.
He shouldn't be making comments. Oh, she shouldn't be talking to the media.
No. I mean, at the end of the day, yes. I feel like you should tell tell him. I mean, if I'm him, you got to get your point across because they're going to be trying to paint the narrative to what you think it is. But if the other picks before him had that deal, I mean, I don't see why he's in the wrong.
All right, so interesting take. First off, I actually very much agree with Kay Adams there that he probably shouldn't be speaking to the media. But, Joe Haden does point out the fact of if other picks before him does go ahead and have the same offer, then what's his problem? Now, again, this is a lot more complex. We've talked about many times than just that simple back and forth as they just talked about. But I will say the idea of speaking to the media never, ever, ever ends positively. I mean, there's never a situation where it's like, there's a disgruntled player speaks to the media and it turns out positive on either side. Just because it always ends with someone saying something, people snip it, people take it, they run with it, and bam, it becomes an absolute clusterfluff. And to be honest, again, this is not just Joe Haden who has this opinion. There's a lot of players who has this opinion of like back and forth with the Bengals and Shemar Stewart situation. Shemar wanted to get his side out there. He wanted to kind of say, hey, this is how I'm feeling and this is what's going on. So it's one of those situations when it comes to any type of negotiations, when it comes to NFL, where you never get both sides of the story. You're lucky to get one side of the story. And like they always say in life, the truth is somewhere in between, right? There's one side, there's another side, and then the truth. That's usually the third side. It's in between the two other sides. So, obviously, again, I've been very vocal about this. It's frustrating, this situation, because we don't get all the information, right? We get snippets, leaks here and there from one side or the other side or this or that. Which side is telling the truth, which side isn't, it's a back and forth. So, to the point of, again, if other player first-round picks got the same contract language, why shouldn't Shemar Stewart sign? Every player is different. Every player is going to work out whatever contract they want. But again, I mean, we are now in late June, and just like the Trey Hendrickson situation, this hasn't really gotten figured out yet. It hasn't. And it's still, there hasn't been any update either. Like, that's another thing. Like, you would think, like, oh, well, maybe the Bengals and him are talking. But with the lack of updates, I'm starting to think they're not talking at all. Which, again, if this contract is so close to being done, it's just this little bit of language. And we already know, shout out to Joe Goodberry for posting, that this isn't a situation where we can offer him more money. This is a situation where it's just a simple language in this one part. Then, again, it's just like the Trey situation. One side has to cave. That's it. It's one side has to cave. And I'm sure in this situation, it's going to probably be the player. I think the player is going to cave in the end here. I think eventually Trey's going to cave in the end to the Bengals. And I think that's really what it comes down to. One side has to cave, and I think in both cases it's going to be the player in the end, or else it's going to get really nasty and not be the best. So it is what it is. I do like what Joe Haden said about like the agent, because at the end of the day, publicly bashing your team, definitely not a good look. Obviously, in certain situations, I understand why Shemar Stewart is upset, but at the same time, you kind of can't publicly bash your team, it's better to talk to your agent and have maybe a public statement put out, something that's more rehearsed, more PR driven, and more like getting your side out there rather than, again, just putting out stuff to the media. But again, like I said, hey, listen, this is how it is nowadays when it comes to, players. They speak their mind. It used to be a lot different. Nowadays, it's more players are very vocal. They say what they're feeling. They say how they feel. And they want to get their side of the story out while, again, the team is going to leak stuff and stuff like that. So, although I will say, for the most part, I think the Bengals do a good job of not leaking negative stuff about a player during contract negotiations. Obviously, we had the Trey situation where, Katie Blackburn said what she said. But that was, again, more of a public statement of, hey, this is how we feel, rather than it's like getting leaked out of like this, that, or a third. So, I for the most part, I mean, again, they're not perfect. Don't get me wrong. They've made mistakes, yes. But I feel like for the most part, Bengals, when they leak stuff about a contract, it's not like a negative stuff. But again, who knows? I hate these situations. I really do. I hate this Trey Henderson situation. I hate the Shemar Stewart situation. I just rather make a video saying these situations got solved. Here are the contracts. This is what we can expect. And here's how much they're getting paid. That's all I want to make a video about, is those two situations being done with. But until they are, we're sitting here at rock bottom. But guess what? When you're at rock bottom, can only go up from here. That's the beautiful thing about hitting rock bottom. Peace out, guys.